Hello everyone, Malcolm here on this nice French sunny cloudy day. I do love this view from the railway room, but anyway, we're not here for that. We're here to do railways and show you what I've been up to. Now then, points. I could use electric solenoid to change my points with switches. I've got them, but I don't want to. I wanted to try and use a rod system. I've got these switches here. I've got a few of them. Don't know if you can see that very well. But I lift that up, trying to do it one-handedly as I hold the camera. And over it goes and it changes the point. And up the other end of the rod, this is what it actually does. Changes the point. Now, why am I showing you this? Well, because around here, as I take you slowly round, I had some gluing to do yesterday. Now, as you know, I was changing the tracks around here, and before I lay any tracks along here, I need to put rod in, or at least cut out the areas for the rods to go to the points. This is one of the brass rods I'm using, so I cut the insulation out and put the rod in, and there's another one over here, the longer rod, and that will go underneath the track to the far end there. So that will help me with changing my points. What did I use to dig out the channel? I just used a knife. I put the rod on top to start with, penciled line down each side to make sure it's straight, and then 2 cuts with a knife, Stanley knife, something like that, and dig the channel out. If I went too deep, that didn't matter. If I was too shallow, then I had to dig out some more. But that's one of the things I've been up to, as well as choosing what track I've got. It's not brilliant track, it's second hand and it's come off an old layout, but it's what I've got, so that's what I'm using. And I'm running out of longer straights, so this is where I'm placing my track. These are for the sidings. These are train railers, so you can put your engines, coaches, wagons on there, and it helps to put the train on the track. I've got a few of them, so I'm using a couple of them, and then a couple of longer straights. These are set track. These are probably Jove, a French company, and then another one of those railers, and a different type here. So that's these 2 sidings. They're coming off a Y point here, right hand point there to go to the main part of the branch line. You can distinguish all that. And then this is going to be my head shunt. It can just be 2 sidings, and I could have one of those as a head shunt. It doesn't matter which way. So these 2 boards are on different levels, naturally. It's the insulation. This insulation was thicker than the insulation this was on. So I've had to bring up this. So I've used a couple of layers of, I think it's 3mm cork, and then some cardboard. This cardboard came from a jigsaw box. With all those all jigsaw pieces. My wife loves doing jigsaws. I've actually got one over here. Four steam train jigsaws, 250p each. I've done one of them, but one day I'll do the others, and perhaps I'll leave them and frame them and put them up on the wall here. But yeah, so this is the raised bit that I've done. So it will take that track, out of the way, and that track. So I've got to connect these up. I've got to prepare all these pieces of track because I'm going to solder them together, but to get a good solder joint, I need to, don't know if you can see from here, the very edges there need soldering. Can I get it to focus? Yeah, just about. In fact, I'll take it under some better light. Just at the edge there, you can see a silver bit. That's where the fish plate was, but the rest of it's all brown. It's been painted basically, but I need to roughen that up to be able to accept solder. And I've got to do that on all of these pieces so they'll be able to join together. What else have I been up to? Oh yes, I've been talking to someone on his channel called Old Camp Ranch. He's an American, and he suggested something about the turntable. Basically, make it operational. And I was thinking, no, I couldn't do that. But maybe I can. It'd take a bit of work, but maybe I can make this operate. It'll have to be manual and not electrical, but I'll be able to turn any of the engines that come up here. An engine can come up here into the station, drop off its coaches, go to the end, come round on this track as it goes all the way back to there and come back and go up to the turntable and be turned, and then come back here and go back onto the front of the train, which I'll have to show you one day. To glue all the cork and the cardboard here, I use the Copydex. I'll just put the Copydex down and put these all on together. So each layer that I did, I put Copydex down and put the cork on, more copper decks, more cork, more copper decks, cardboard, then weighted it all down. And it's done. It's strong. That's not going to move. Unless I get a scraper underneath it, then it'll come up. So, what else have I been doing? Oh yes. I've been looking at various things. I saw a video on Key Model World the other day, and they were talking about 16-ton mineral wagons and when they were produced. And I thought, well, I've got a couple of them. Like one of them there is a 16-ton mineral wagon. And I've said in the past that I wanted to have this around 1948 when it changes from Southern to British Railways. But they said the 16-ton mineral wagons weren't produced into the 50s. So I thought, okay, that means I can't use them for my railway. And then so I was looking around here, and I knew this was out of time for what I want, because that's the late 1950s, 1960s. And so is that one. But I didn't know about the other vehicles. And so I've been doing some research, and good of the internet, you can find things. Like I knew this was a Base Toy Limited, but I found out that it's a Wolseley 6/90, which weren't produced until 1954. So that's out of my range. This one is the Classics, and it's a Morris J van. That's okay, that was produced in 49, so it's close to where I want to work. This one is the Standard Vanguard, 1947. Not many people would have been able to afford one of them. But as I say, that was in the late 50s. Then there comes down to here, and you've got this lorry. It's a Leyland Octopus, 1949. You've got this one here. It's, Ford ET6, 1950. This one is a Ford E83, 1938. So that's okay, that's well in my range. But also, I mean, I've got a couple of Southern engines. I've got a Battle of Britain, which is Spitfire just here. That's in Southern. Then I've got a Q1. That's in the Southern. Then I've got a 9F. That was later in 1950s that they produced. So, what do I do? So I've decided in the end, I'm going to have a range of dates and have the railway that I could do in the late 1940s and also in the late 1950s. So basically that's where I'm up to. Sorry I can't get you any trains going at the moment because of it's a mess. Hopefully I can get some trains going during the week. And so I'll say look after yourselves. God bless. And hope you enjoy your railways. Bye.